guys, it's Danielle here at Oregon Bordoodles, and as you know, we have several puppies that we have been needing to supplement feed for 2 weeks now, and so I thought that I would let you kind of tag along with me and say a little bit about what that is. What are we doing? So in front of me, I have a large collection of different bottles and nipples and things that we're trying. The puppies are still not taking a bottle. We'll have really good success where everybody takes it. It's been over a week since that happened, but we had with the Dr. Brown's bottles and the wide nipple, this is the human version, we had one day where everybody took it really well, and then it ended that night. They started to aspirate and not want it anymore, and by the next day I tried consistently every single feeding, which was every couple of hours, and we had no success with any puppies. So I ended up moving back to the syringe, which is kind of my tried and true, always works. Luckily, by that point, we were over tube feeding. So at that time, we initially started with tube feeding everybody, and we moved to syringe feeding. And I'm still trying to get them on the bottle. And I have also now invested, they're very expensive, but in the silicone nipples, there's this woman who makes these from the UK, and they fit into the normal. So we have the smaller Dr. Brown's. So Dr. Brown's makes wide nipple, which is what you use for humans a lot of times. And then they make the narrow nipple, which some human babies use. I mean, that's why they make them, but they use, but the puppies don't like this human one. So I bought these. They're very stretchy. They're silicone. They're really, really soft. And I bought these that fit the Dr. Brown's, and a lot of breeders have had huge success with these, and I was very excited about them. They don't work. Sure, they would work for some puppies. For whatever reason, these guys will latch, and I can see that they're suctioning and they're working, and I think it's going well, and then I look and no milk has gone down. So then they have the same one, but it's a smaller one. Tried that. It also doesn't work. So I'm going to keep trying, because getting them onto the bottle would make my life 100 times easier, and the washing machine is yelling at us. But until we get that figured out, we are syringe feeding. So what is syringe feeding? It is, sorry, I'm just trying to keep all my stuff organized here. What is syringe feeding? That's what it sounds like. You take a syringe instead of a bottle, and you draw the milk up, and then you attach a nipple. So we have a small one here, which they've outgrown, and we have a larger one here. These are silicone. These are made by Puppy Warmer, which is the same company as our incubator and oxygen, and it fits onto the syringe. And then as we feed them, we are pushing this syringe, so they're not having to use a lot of work suctioning, because I'm plunging the milk as they suction. So it's a lot more work for me. It might be, there's definitely science or belief that when you use a syringe feed for a long time, puppies don't want to work for their food anymore. So they stop having a good suction, because if they just hold still, the milk will come to them. And maybe that's part of what's going on, but they do nurse on mom just fine. And when we offered the bottle, I could see that they latched perfectly and we're suctioning. I don't know why they're not getting the milk. So syringe feeding is what we're doing. Now, a couple reasons as to why that's hard. Unless you use a brand new syringe every time, which for a 60 ml syringe, that's going to be very expensive. Unless you use a brand new syringe every single time, it gets sticky. It's hard to plunge it through. So what we need to do is we use olive oil, and we just coat the rubber of this syringe. So we're just washing it between each meals, and we coat it with olive oil, and then when we put it in there, it's going to add some lubrication to help this go in and out easier. So let's make our puppy milk. What do we use for puppy milk? This is my favorite puppy milk supplement. I have tried so many different brands, so many different ones that you home make yourself, and I always end up with diarrhea or constipation or aspirating or puppies that are not thriving, and I fall back on this. It's very expensive, but it works. Like, everybody potties perfect. I never have anybody crying from gas, so don't fix what's not broken. So this, to me, the Espalac, the goat milk formula is my favorite. I buy it in the big bag, it's $200 a bag, and then we transfer it to the little canister, which only lasts a couple of days, and round we go. So let's make some milk. In the beginning, I use boiling water that I then let cool when they're very new, especially if we're doing tube feeding. They are, thank goodness, past that, so now I can just use water right out of my tap. I do not have city water, so we don't have fluoride, we don't have any of the gross stuff in our water. It's just nice well water, which I feel really blessed about. But I want to get it nice and hot because a puppy's temperature is around 101 degrees, and so we don't want to be putting milk in their little bodies that is cold. And also when they nurse on mom, that milk is coming out of her 101 degree body. So they need, and they are designed to have their milk be nice and warm coming into their belly. So got a 1/3 cup here. We're gonna do 1/3 cup of the formula into my jar. And I want to make sure that if puppies are eating really well, that they have plenty of milk. I'd rather make too little or too much than too less, because nothing is more frustrating than having puppies be hungry and have to stop everything to go make more milk. I can put it in the refrigerator and reheat it, but I heat it in a pan, not a microwave, and it's time consuming. This is not quite hot enough yet. So I'm going to get this all mixed up. So it's 1 part formula to 2 parts water. All right, so we did 2 of these. So we need to do 4 hot water. Okay. Now, there's a lot of debate on how you should mix this. The truth is, this goat milk Espalac does not mix well when you use a fork or a whisk. You still get clumps. The only way that I have found to not get clumps with this is to use one of these. Now, there are people who believe that you should not use one of these because it introduces air. I've never had this actually like froth. It's never frothed it before, so that's good. But it does introduce these little microscopic air bubbles into the milk. And the theory is that then when they drink that milk, they're going to get gas bubbles. I understand the theory. I hear the concern. However, it's never been an issue for me. I've never had my puppies that are crying from gas. I've never seen it cause an issue. But I definitely see it cause a problem when we don't have it well mixed and we have clumps in it. It causes all kinds of problems. So this is how I mix my milk. It makes it nice and smooth. It works really, really well. That's how we do it. Now, what we do is we draw this up. And then you have to wipe it every single time. You have to wipe this. And then you put on your nipple and you feed the puppy. If you don't wipe this, this is slippery and it'll just pop the nipple right off. And there's nothing more frustrating than getting ready to feed a puppy and the nipple keeps flying off. So now that we're ready, we have our supplies, let's go feed our puppies. Okay, so here we are now in the room that our puppies are in. They're very excited to eat. I'm gonna put that nipple on there that we talked about and help him to find it. His eyes are still closed. And then it looks like I'm being really rough with the puppy by holding his little face, but all I'm doing is very gently closing his cheeks around the nipple to make sure that there's a nice tight suction, because I don't want him to be swallowing air. That would cause little gas problems. And as far as how much to feed, we're generally feeding between 30 and 40 mils per feeding at this point, which gives them a nice full belly. But sometimes they're full before then because they are still nursing on mama, which is great. I love that they're not exclusively bottle feeding. They still have their mama and they are still nursing, but whenever we stop supplement feeding, we end up with puppies that are losing weight, and that's not what we want. Why is mama not making enough milk? There's a couple things to that. One, just physical body reason. She has several nipples that don't work, so that doesn't help. When you have 8 puppies, she has 4 nipples that don't work well. I don't know if you can see how with my hand in the way, but it's just so cute. They cross their little He's crossing his little feet. And so Mama, she seems to really know that I'm here to help, and she gets excited when we come in. They're very strong for being so little. So he stood up on his little hind legs. Now I'm just gonna help him burp. He's looking for more milk, even though he doesn't need it at all. His belly is huge. There's Mama, you can see Lily walking around. His belly is very full of milk. And then I'll get to, here's your checking on your baby. Good girl. Good Lily. All right, let's do that 5 more times. They're very wiggly at this age, and they will fly themselves right off of here before you can help, before you can even catch them. And then this little girl particularly, she's a hard one to feed sometimes because she clenches her jaw instead of latches. And so we just have milk. I don't know if you can tell, like so far most of her feeding is just wasted. She's not swallowing. She wants it so bad, she just can't really figure out how to. So we're gonna reset. It's very frustrating, very, very frustrating, but it's just part of it. And now our syringe is wet, so our nipple's popping off. This is the reality. All right. I've been wanting to make a video talking to my husband about it, and I tell him, it's not a pretty video. Like they're usually making a pretty big mess. They look like they're being tortured. It's not like it's not a cute thing. It doesn't always go smoothly. And from your guys' angle, this probably looks like I'm holding the puppy up, but I'm not. I'm just keeping her from falling. And see how they lean back like this because they're looking for it. So see this constant where they arch their back. So you're trying to help this puppy find a nipple, and she doesn't know what it is. So she's just gonna reach for anything. But then once she finds the nipple, she does this where she just clenches her mouth shut, like instead of latching on to it. And so trying to help it get above the tongue when she does grab it. See, she's pushing. That's all her, just continually pushing up, 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 and flipping herself backwards. So I'm trying to stop her from flipping backwards, help her to not clench her mouth shut. Like right now, her mouth is just clenched. There she goes. And if I let her go, she would just fly herself right off of there. So feeding can be very, very, very frustrating. And we just do this every couple hours. There we go, there we go. There we go. It's on top of the tongue. She's grabbed hold of it the right way, where she's actually swallowing. Anyway, so we've been talking about making a video for everybody to kind of see, but it's not cute. It's not, you know, this perfect little environment where these little puppies are taking a bottle and it just looks all picturesque and Instagram worthy. It's in my guest bathroom. It's messy. They're frantic. They're dirty because they get milk all over them. But this moment right here, it's worth it. When they finally get that good latch and they're at peace and they're eating. She's spilling some of it, but she's getting some of it too. This girl probably swallowed half of what was in there, but I'm giving plenty, so. And if you can hear, she's all raspy now. puppies have been spending time in the incubator twice daily, getting a breathing treatment as we watch closely for pneumonia, which is not uncommon for puppies that are being supplement fed. But I'm gonna go let her rest so she can burp and get ready for the next puppy. And the reality is that it's exhausting, it's messy, it's hard. And some puppies, and it's not the same puppy either. Like we'll have a puppy like her, that's a really difficult one to feed. And that'll last a day or two, and then she'll become really easy to feed. And then we'll have a different one become, you know, the difficult one. Because of the uniqueness of each puppy and the risk of aspiration, pneumonia, and all those things, I'm the only one who can do it. I don't have any of my assistants help with this because there's just too much risk of it potentially going wrong. It looks probably to you guys like I'm just manhandling, gripping this girl's head, but I'm just gently reaching around her face and putting the lightest amount of pressure on her cheeks so that she can really make a nice strong suction around this, because I don't want her to swallow air. And she puts her little feet up like that because instincts tell them to do the kneading to get milk out from mom. When they nurse on mom, they put their feet up on her and they knead back and forth like a cat making biscuits to help milk come down. She doesn't need to do that with the syringe, but the instinct is still there. I don't know if you can even see her feet from there or her face. I wonder if there's a way I could move the camera so you can kind of see what I see. Good girl. Nice job, darling. Good job. You let go too soon there, baby. And now we have the jaw clenching closed where he won't open his mouth. And if I let him go, he's just gonna fly himself right off of here. So trying to show him where it is. There we go. There we go. And you finally get that position just right, and you don't want to lose it. And you want to, I have to squeeze this syringe at just the right pace the whole time. Too fast and we get too much milk and we have a puppy risk choking. Too slow and they get frustrated and they let go. And then you start all over. Okay. There you go, baby. I know. Clean your little face. Clean your little face. You're so silly. There's your mama. There's your mama. See, now we've gotten to the place that our syringe is wet, even though I keep wiping it off, and then it tries to pop off on us. This little girl is one of my ones that is hard to feed usually. There we go, we got a good latch now. She can be a tough one. If you don't get the perfect pace, she just lets go because she thinks that no milk is coming. She gets very anxious to get more, but obviously you don't want to go too fast, so pinching the sides of her cheeks very gently to help create this perfect suction. I can see that she's swallowing well. There's no milk leaving her nose. So I know I'm not going too fast. There we go. Are you so fed? Does that feel good? Have a nice full belly. Look, she's still gonna grab my finger. She's had so much milk, but she's still gonna grab my finger. Okay, last one. Oh, nipple fell off. There we go, got it. We saved it. Wish I had somebody to help me film because you could really see a different angle. I do wish I could show you guys a different angle, but I can't hold the phone and do this at the same time. And I know I should get a light ring and all those cool things that people have. You're not even hungry anymore. There's no way you're hungry. Bottle babies just act like they're starving all the time. But look how full of milk he is. There you go, Lily. Look at the size difference between, this is one of the bottle babies, and this is a puppy who's never even had the bottle ever. And same with there. That's a puppy that's never had the bottle. These guys have. 6 of the 8. You're a good mama.